Hello, everyone. Welcome back to more chess. I played a few Blitz games off camera over the past little while, just sort of to fill in time in between things. And you can see, by the way, my Blitz. I think I mentioned this at some point. My history on Lichess started with a Blitz tournament, and I was quite bad at it. I think I went like 2 wins, 11 losses, or something like that. Something equally horrible. Um, it was in like 2016, maybe 2017. Um, so that's why I've had this Blitz rating that just suddenly changed. And I played a few Blitz games that were. I thought it would be fun to just like look over them. Maybe we'll have time for another game afterwards. Maybe not. I'll actually try to do some analysis. Um, so where was this? I played this one. I played a few 3 weeks ago. I think these were actually on camera though. And then this is the Gunsberg arena that I played in years ago. Um, yeah, 4 years. I think these ones from 2 weeks ago were on camera. I don't know about this one, so we'll just skip it. Um, but these, all the ones 1 week ago or newer, I'm sure weren't on camera, so we'll show these off. I was, I haven't, I don't think I won all of them. Actually, all the recent ones I did win. That's nice. Um, I don't know, probably this one wasn't on camera, and so I should show it, but whatever, I won't. Can't make me. I guess the results are spoiled, aren't they? But you already know I win, so it's fine. Um, we could even watch them like real time, but I don't want to do that. Let's turn on stock. Oops, turn on Stockfish and see what it thinks. And yeah, I like when they don't contest the center. You should just take more of it. That's something I do most of the time, but I missed in this game. Or I don't know about most of the time. I try to. This takes is fine, and now we take more center, and we've kind of traded off these two pawns, but I have a knight out. I don't know. Apparently that a6 is pretty bad. This is the Caro-Kann, huh? You prepare with c6 and then d5 to try to take away the center from them? Seems reasonable. Just kind of making good developing moves. It says actually already just go ahead and plant a knight, huh? Now that they've blocked this pawn from kicking him out and the bishop's not going to get here anytime soon. There's this, though? I don't know. I feel like if I plant this, don't they just go here and... I see. If they want to force my knight out of here, then they have to, like, let me get an attack against this knight so I gain a little tempo and I have a really far forward pawn. That's why this is bad. Yeah, he has to run away and then we... Oh my god, really? Why not? Oh, because the f-pawn is kind of important, huh? Didn't realize it would be mate. Yikes, okay. And then I thought we would get this in at some point, but no, they're threatening to take it with a bishop, and so we just deliver a check and then trade it off. But in the meantime, they don't get to castle, and we have this. Okay, cool. So that's why they shouldn't take my knight. That's why I can afford to put it here. That's a pretty deep analysis, and I don't mind that I didn't know that. Just castling seems pretty normal, even if it's apparently giving up a little bit. So what's wrong with this? Why? So it says I was supposed to do it earlier to stop the bishop getting there, but now that it's here, it's too late. Bishop's supposed to go here, and I assume queen takes, but then, we dropped this pawn. Right, this knight is important. That's why you should stop the bishop getting here. Okay. Anyway, all this actually happened, and I did lose a pawn. Oh, I remember this game all of a sudden. Yeah, okay. So it says run away here, but I was like, you know what? If I ran away here, or no, here, I'd be attacking this knight still. And they're supposed to run away, but instead, they put the queen here, and I was like, oh, blunder time. Let's go. Hit him with the bishop. It says they should run away up here, getting a counterattack against the queen, but they didn't do that. They just like attacked the queen while leaving their knight in trouble, and I said, okay, go ahead. We'll trade queens after I win your knight. And that did happen, and then we traded minor pieces, and it was all just sort of nice from here. Pick up a piece. Well, I don't know. I bet I made some mistakes, knowing me. Like, for example, there goes a pawn. But they don't want it. And I trade off all the rooks and start picking stuff up. I think I end up losing this knight at some point. No. I don't. They trade the bishop off, and that's just, like, dreadful, because it was the only advantage, the only thing they could have hoped to generate some kind of anything with. And, I don't know, I just let them trade off all their pawns while babysitting mine and push through, and then they timed out. So, hooray. Next up, we played someone who, that guy we played twice in a row, like, played the Duras Gambit all the time. And so I ran into this earlier today, I think. Yeah, here's the Duras Gambit. Just launch the F-pawn immediately. This guy played it very badly. So you're supposed to, apparently, I forget. Oh, we're going to look at the analysis board. Yeah, you're supposed to contest the center, but I didn't do that. I just got a bishop out to defend my pawn, which seemed kind of nice, so they don't take it. And then they push another pawn. And you're supposed to go queen here, but I didn't see that. I just kind of did some quiet moves. And suddenly all my advantage is gone for some reason. Because I can't hang on to this pawn if knight here, I guess? But then they give it back. I mean, we could probably watch some of these Blitz games in real time. One of my opponents, I don't remember who, played insanely fast. I don't think it was this guy, though. Anyway, and then they just gave me a chance to trade off this pawn rather than having to hang on to it. And so I got castled. Now, this move actually is by far my worst move of the game. And when I played it, I was feeling like I don't really want to invite their queen forward. But I didn't really see anything else productive to do. This would obviously be great, but I didn't see it. And apparently suddenly I'm losing. Don't totally understand why yet. Maybe my bishop has a rough day. They just have very good pieces and I don't, maybe. I'm not developed enough, and the fact that they're uncastled and totally naked is not as big a deal as they have an army in front of the king. I went for this, and it says all you gotta do is castle and you'll be fine. But instead they ran away with the queen. And then I picked up the bishop and with check and they resigned. So a lucky escape after my opponent played a terrible opening. I didn't punish as well as I could have, and then I gave them a chance to turn it into a good opening, but they didn't want it. Alright, there's the Duras Gambit game. Oh, I got grobbed. This was the guy who played really fast. We'll do this one in real time. I was playing pretty fast in these two. I used less than a minute, I think. Just real-time replay. Here we go. And I'm like, what is going on with this bishop? What do I do? What is this grob? And I said, okay, it's guarded by the queen. Just shove a pawn. It says, no. Yeah, it says, now you should use your bishop to pick up this pawn. But instead, I picked up the pawn they had just moved. Which apparently is not quite as good. Hello? Am I still thinking? Yeah. Okay. So it says that's not as good. But then they try grabbing this pawn with their bishop, which is, like, obviously not great. And, you know, we have a clear view of this rook, which they didn't seem to care about, so I just took it. And now we have mate in one, so they're like, I know, I'll attack the bishop. And then it's like, alright, see you later. That was the game. So it can't have taken more than 30 seconds. Yeah, well, okay. It was more than 30 seconds, but less than a minute. I think. Very, very fast game. This was actually this person's very first Blitz game. I noticed by looking at their history. They usually play bullet, but don't rate very well there either. Pirk defense, yes, very good. Let's check this one out. And we won't do it in real time. Oh, give me Stockfish though. You're actually if they develop the knight first, you're just supposed to hit it with more advancing pawn. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because otherwise, knight here, then they stop the pawn from advancing, and you don't get this tempo. Yeah, I should totally do that. If someone defends here, just chase the knight away again, and they get a central knight, but you have this like great pawn center, and they spent a bunch of time moving a knight over here to no real purpose. It says develop the knight, which seems fine to defend here, maybe? I don't know. Oh, because you don't want to take this way, letting them do something cool with their knight, maybe? So suppose you make some other move, like, I don't know, bishop here. Obviously this is something they could do, but suppose here. This knight discovery isn't doing anything yet, but it will. And this pawn is in danger. So that's why it suggests just developing the knight. Oh, in fact, I did play bishop here. Okay. And they went in for that. No, this is not right. Oh, this is because I didn't push the pawn. Okay, I was just further exploring the line I was playing with. Yeah, and in fact, they do defend here, transposing into something. The Pirk. And I took more center, but anyway, they went for this, and I get this queen trade taking away their castling rights, which is why that's so nice. I started targeting the pawn. Queenside castles with check, pinning the bishop now, and it doesn't like bishop there. Oh, right, I can't take this pawn. It's guarded. That's why I'm not doing it. Now, why is taking the knight so good? Ah, because it's the only thing guarding this pawn. So I went in for that. And then, after the fork, they resigned. Amazing. Now, I think this is my last Blitz game? Yeah. Turn on the old Stockfish. Pretty normal opening so far. It doesn't like me to castle. It says just, go into this to anchor in the bishop behind the pawn or in front of the pawn chain, which sounds fine. But I castled first in case there was something weird going on here. And then this is a blunder. I'm not totally sure why. Oh, right. It ties up the bishop so that you can go c3, d4. And then win this pawn when the bishop retreats. Or something like that. But I didn't do that. I just played my knight. Got my knight developed. And then anchored in the bishop. This is apparently dropping a big thing, huh? It says you're supposed to go here. I didn't really like takes, but maybe I should have. I get this pawn attacking the knight. I blunt their dark square bishop as long as I can defend this, which currently my bishop is doing, so it's kind of nice, I guess. But I didn't do that. I went here. Which gives up all the advantage I built up, apparently. And it says, just go back. Work on this pawn. I didn't do that, though. Oh, that's right. Yes. So this knight move I was trying to target here because they haven't castled yet. And then they castled, and I'm like, I just threw the bishop in there anyway. But my opponent believed me. And it's saying you should run away now, which I agree with. And suddenly this is a big hole for a knight to jump into. But they take away the bishop support with d5. I renew the support with my pawn, which it doesn't like. It says use a bishop. And I missed this fork. Just kind of tried to stop the knight from taking my bishop. I don't know why. It's Blitz, give me a break. And I retook the knight, and then I was finally like, oh, wait a minute, look at that queen and rook. And they resigned. So there's Blitz for you. Not really high quality games, but it was entertaining. Let's get in a 15-10 game now. Oh man, I'm going to have to include links to all those games in the description, aren't I? What a nuisance. RMA 2020. I don't know what RMA really means. I mean, we could try the Caro-Kann, right? Sure, why not? Okay, they're not going to let me trade those off. Fine. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in the Caro-Kann. I hate this pawn already. This seems a little premature. Could try to get a knight here. How would you do that? Not easy. All right, let's just support that and get this bishop out. Oh no, I'm supposed to get this guy out first. Ugh. I always forget that developing one bishop kind of hurts the other. There's this check, which they can block. I don't know. I'm not super comfortable in this position, obviously. What about this? That attacks this pawn, which I like a lot. Yeah, let's go for that. We're like making a lot more pawn moves, both of us, in this Caro-Kann opening, huh? Oh! I can't retake because this. Devious. Oh no, I can. That's what the bishop is for. Right. I can't take here now, but I get this bishop out. Attacking a good square. And then here? Attacking the pawn and this? Now I can maybe play knight here to attack this pawn. Okay, we should probably hang on to this guy, though. Knight here first. Kind of shielding my king from any funny business. Okay, now knight here attacks this pawn, but doesn't really threaten to win it because it's protected. I could just castle here and get a knight or a rook here eventually. This is a totally unfamiliar pawn structure to me. Kind of interesting playing a totally different opening. How much it changes things. There's this, I guess. Try to trade off that knight so I can win this. Not much point until I develop the knight, though, I think. Sure. Yeah, I guess I could have maybe considered this to stop that, but I don't mind if they make this trade, I don't think. I'm just going to castle to get out of the pin. And then if they want to trade, I get this lovely pawn moved a bit closer. And I think I'm okay chasing the bishop away. And if I put a rook here... They're aiming at this, which doesn't seem to matter yet, but could if the knight gets here, so let's just stop that. Get out of here, Leechess. I'm playing way quicker in this totally unknown pawn structure than in like what I'm used to. I don't know why that is. This is scary, but I'm pretty sure I just take here. Like maybe they know about some some attack, and if so, I'm a little bit worried. But like, what am I supposed to do, right? Here? Or this, attacking the bishop first? This would be a nice spot to, or sorry, this would be a nice place to have a bishop. So it would be cool to have a knight here, but that doesn't seem very realistic. I don't want to push because then push makes this pawn really hard to dislodge. I need to hang on to this pawn right where he is. I can attack it a second time, but it's already defended twice, so I would need even more, which would be the rook, I guess. But they could double if they wanted. I think I just want to get this bishop doing something so that the rook can get involved, and I think this is the best thing I can do with it. Well, no, I could try to dislodge the knight, I guess. I'd like to trade off some pieces if I can. Like here, oops. Here would be awkward for me, I think. I don't know, maybe it would be okay. It's obviously awkward for the knight because the bishop controls his exit squares. And he'd be giving up this. But this bishop might also be important to hang on to this pawn. So if they let me trade, I maybe don't know if I want to. It's hard for my rooks to get this, so I don't think they're that sad about this capture either. What if I just push? It attacks the knight. And, you know, it's sufficiently defended for the moment. So they do have to run with the knight. I think they'd be pretty happy to land here, though. So I don't like that. I think I'd rather trade off these bishops. This light square bishop is a big threat to me. So if I'm trading something, I want it to be... Oh, but this knight would be overloaded. So that trade would win them this center pawn, and then I'd be ruined. I see. Okay, let's just get here, I guess. To get developed modestly and get the rooks connected. And now maybe my knight could move here if he wants. Now that this pawn is taken care of a little bit. Then we might have something like this next. Or get a rook behind one of these two files, probably. Or this is a good open... It's an open file. It has a lot of traffic on it at the moment. But none of it is pawns. Also, I'm up material. I forgot about that. So they really need to make this attack do something. Okay, they're going to double up. But this pawn is, like, really stunted, isn't he? No draws. Get out of here, you weirdo. Knight here attacks the rook, and so takes. I think I'd be pretty okay with that. I get a nice bishop here doing some stuff. And I can maybe try to route another knight into the area if they try to double again. Okay. Also takes away a defender of this pawn. Okay, you're all doubled up, but this file is closed. No one will be doing anything here, I'm afraid. What about this? Then I get a rook behind. I think it doesn't really work. They just defend it with a rook, or they push, actually. I kind of hate that. So I think we got to get a rook behind first. I will not be allowing anything to happen on this file. I don't think you should be doubling there. Right, their pawn is really making those rooks sad, not happy. I think they have to like move a rook over here to defend the knight. They don't want to move it because then I get this, and they don't want to not move it, I think. Takes, takes, takes. Yes, you can put a rook here now, but I'm attacking this bishop, and I have a pretty active rook. I don't know, maybe I could double first? No, then they could just defend if they wanted. I think we go for this. Is there some tactic? Maybe they defend the bishop this way so that I can't get a rook even further. Let's double up first. What's the rush? Bringing in the king, huh? It's a little weird. I mean, these are all controlled, so he can only walk on light squares. Okay, they want this, I guess, but I have it sort of under control? Yeah. So they have to get another piece involved to make that work. A rook, probably, but the rooks, I hope, will be busy soon. We might try to double up rooks on the third rank, maybe? Oh, they're just gonna... I mean, takes, takes. I don't think I would be happy with that outcome. So what's wrong with just picking up this pawn? You win another pawn? And you stop this guy from advancing unless they're going to do this, which I guess they should, right? I think, actually, I don't want this bishop to budge. So I think I don't want to let this pawn go, right? So I think we allow the bishop trade and get here. No, because then my king is going to be in real danger from these rooks, right? So suppose instead takes, takes, and then bring the bishop back to guard all this stuff. That seems good. Excuse me? Okay, I mean, it did say Lichess was restarting, but so far, every time Lichess has restarted in the middle of one of my games, it's been, like, no big deal. So I was not at all concerned about the restart. It was like I just continued playing. I assume they have the state of all running games in their database and will restore it? Okay, cool. Okay, should I do something other than this first? I don't think so. And they still can't enter with rooks yet. I assume something like this, but then here, this. I don't know. Doesn't seem that great. Yeah, okay. So the Lichess restarts are not a concern unless you're playing Bullet, I guess. Then maybe they are. We could actually put the bishop here? If I could find some other way to babysit this pawn. Because it'd be really nice to have this tied in with this guy, right? Oh, please, I accept. Nothing would make me happier. I was scared about 2 rooks. 1 rook? Don't make me laugh. Here to defend, I thought, but okay, let's just double check. Nothing bad is gonna happen to me here if I move. These squares, well, these squares are all covered by non-king pieces. So I can put the king anywhere. Okay, they resigned. Great. So what exactly would I do in this situation, right? We don't have to guard any of these squares from the rook. So we just have to make sure we guard these two. It's any legal move does that. So I think I want to get behind the shelter of this pawn. And head over here towards this guy, something like this. Is what I don't want to make these my next 3 moves. I want to do stuff with my rook and my bishop. But that's what the direction I think my king should move in. So I think I would play king f8 next. But maybe I don't know. There's not really any way for them to target this pawn, so I think it'll be fine. What do you think, Stockfish? King f8, king h7 are both totally fine. King f8 apparently better. Okay, cool. Well, what did you think about the rest of the game? I guess we know we played the Caro-Kann. Advanced variation. Yes, they did advance the pawn. And so you're supposed to do this right away. Okay, I'm not totally sure why. Suppose takes. I guess you just get a pretty strong pawn here, and they have to babysit both of these. But, like, why not here, and they can do it? I don't know. Also, pushing here discovers an attacker on this. I see. So they could try to hang on to it like so, right? But then we attack it again. Okay. And they can maybe come in like this. And we don't immediately have any like big attack here, right? Like we can't seem to finish off the pawn. Oh, we have this discovery though. Not discovery, this move with check. Wait, why isn't that the right move? Knight blocks and defends, I see. So it doesn't really accomplish what it looks like it does. I don't really understand, like, we're still down a pawn. Apparently it's fine, because our pawns are better. And theirs are a vulnerable, like, they're a weakness. They have to work to defend all their pawns. Now we break the pin with this knight. That's what this was all about. And we still have 2 attackers on this. I see. And they just can't really get over there to defend it again. Well, they can. Why not here? Oh, this pawn's hanging too. Okay, so it's just hard. If you take that pawn right away, they can't really hang on to it. Okay. So I went for this, and it actually says this is the best move, but due to like how deeply they've analyzed it, the evaluation changes a little, whatever. They're supposed to take the other way. And then capturing here was a mistake, as was taking with the queen, huh? Okay. Apparently I'm not supposed to welcome a queen trade in this position. No particular idea why. I guess, you know, we have the computer analysis ready. We should go learn from our blunders here. Look at that! Totally brand new opening. Just one inaccuracy. A pretty even game. Nobody making any huge mistakes until my opponent made one, and I failed to... Well, made one medium mistake. I failed to punish it. And then one huge mistake, which I did punish. Well, that's nice. Yeah, no significant mistakes, indeed. So what about my inaccuracy, though? Well, let's look at my opponent's first. They ran away with the bishop. And I was supposed to go here. The only defender of this pawn. So it's threatening to take this pawn. And also, I guess, to destroy their pawn structure. But why not, like, here to defend? Probably this bishop is not stable, right? Takes. Maybe not in that order. Maybe here first? I see. Attacking the bishop and adding an attacker to that square. But still, the bishop can back up. And then I go in for this trade. I see. Take with, I guess, this knight. Oh, but in all this, right? I can't really do this because then I drop this pawn, so that doesn't actually work. So why is bishop here not useful? Is this something? They can't really take. I just win a piece. So they have to run with the knight to where? Here would be pretty good, I guess. Yeah, I don't think that pawn push is so good. Okay. So why then is bishop here so great? It says they go here, as I thought. And it says you can actually do this. Ah, because eventually the rook comes here and or it attacks the knight and the bishop, pinning one to the other. I guess the bishop can go here, defend the knight, but it gets, like, a little awkward, I guess. So you can just do this. And it's saying they should get rid of it. Ah, and you're attacking this with tempo. If they try to take away your knight. Huh. But suppose they don't. Suppose... Suppose here. And now takes... Ah, this adds a second attacker to this square. I see. Okay, so the details of this inaccuracy are somewhat lost on me, and I don't mind missing this play. This sacrifice was unwarranted. So, okay, it wasn't so much punishing a mistake as much as, like, you know, my opponent tried for something and I did the obvious move and then their thing didn't work. Says attacking that knight is a little bit better. I thought about it, but I was a little bit scared, so I just went here to tie all this together. This was the move I spent the longest on all game, I think, right? Look at move times, yeah. And it was second best. What? Oh, actually, the computer's had some time to think about it, and it agrees with me. Bishop g4 is... I don't know, it's very close. So out of curiosity, how good is the third best move? Well, let's just look at 5. That's a little crazy. So if we look at, like, the third best move, It's not actually showing here. Why not? I asked for 3 moves. Here or here? Oh, and then I guess this is third best. Now it says bishop e6 is third best, but they're all pretty close. Okay, so I went here. It's fine. This knight move was as good as anything else, although not one of the Stockfish's top 3 suggestions. There's just a lot of good moves for me when I'm ahead like this. And it says, yeah, put a rook there. Prefers I maybe use the other one, but whatever. And it says, yeah, go ahead and double. And you could push this pawn. Boy, doubling and then trading seems totally inconsistent. So, not doubling, but preparing to double and then just going in for the trade. And it says, yes, do take that knight. Come in here. It does like taking with the knight. Rook takes is worse, but not awful. I just wanted to keep these pawns under control was the idea. And actually, bishop g6 is second best, huh? But I was going to play king f8. I like this as an idea for where to put my bishop. But in the actual situation, I didn't seem to need it, right? I have... This bishop is doing everything he needs to do right here. The only problem is he might get attacked somehow, I guess. But after king here, suppose the rook does attack. Now we can move with the bishop, and it's fine. I would have thought here. Apparently not. Oh, yeah, right. I wouldn't have thought there. My idea was bishop here, doubling up on this, right? So I would happily do that. And then it's saying just crawl up into a ball, and in the meantime, black chews up all your pawns. Sure. Oh, yeah, I like that. Well, do I? Yeah, the bishop's covering this square still. This rook threatening to enter is still a serious threat. But we still have everything under control. And I was a little worried that this pawn move takes away control of the key square, but it doesn't. The bishop is there. We still have everything under control. And we don't want to take here, exposing the king. I agree with that. This actually even improves my control of this file by giving me this as well. They can't even pivot there. And then my king can just scoop up this pawn at some point if it ever moves. Or maybe even if it doesn't, I don't know. No, just start pushing your own pawns. Why mess around with that nonsense? Oh yeah, he's got like a red carpet here with the bishop and the rook watching over him. Apparently this is bad because this. I don't quite... No, it's apparently also fine. So I could push again, and the bishop is watching that square, and that seems fine. King here, huh? Yeah. And I don't know, anything you do at this point is fine. It's actually saying just throw away the rook to deflect this from turning into a queen. I don't kind of understand how it would turn into a queen, though. Like, what if this? Did you see that? It said promote to knight was a cool move. Briefly, and then it changed its mind. Because the king does just capture it. Now we chase the king away, and he has to go back here. We check him, and it's just like, okay, anyway, whatever. This game's over. Maybe I'll try the Caro-Kann some more. It seemed simpler than the Sicilian, but I mean, which is what I hear from better players. So, like, the Sicilian seems too complicated. Why do you keep playing it? Too complicated for you. And I'm like, well, I just tried it and it seemed cool. But the Caro-Kann, everything just sort of normal moves worked out for me. So maybe I'll try it again next time I'm black. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.